Dino Bob here. What we're working on today is a 2003 Cobra, 600 foot-pounds of torque. Hard to believe, right? Well, let's show you how we got it done. This car is owned by Kyle Eisenberg from Rockford, Illinois. He belongs to the Cranked Incorporated Car Club. And let's get started on kind of what we did here. He brought it down here and wanted to get the Stage 8 porting and some other modifications. Well, we did happen to have one extra set of, we had the last set of the snakebite gears. There was a first version of the snakebite, and then now there's a newer version of the snakebite. What the snakebite is, originally is a gear overdrive system, a 30% gear-driven overdrive internally. And you can see here how it was arranged. The later gears were lightened and pressure oiled and stuff like that, but you can see how it's sort of like a gearbox. It's a 30% overdrive. So Kyle had a large, very loud exhaust system. He wanted to get this loud blower. He wanted the snakebite. He got one of the last ones. We're super excited about it. It did make 600 foot-pounds of torque, and I kind of want to show you some of the modifications we did to get there. When we started out, we disassembled everything, and we have a BBK throttle body that was poured and polished. We got a standard plenum, which is welded and modified. And on a Stage 8, you can tell a Stage 8 because it has an adapter plate between the plenum and the blower. That enables us to move the plenum over, max it out like a total inch. Then we weld the case here, and there's some other areas. What we're doing is straightening out this airflow, this line of sight. There's also a trick in here. When the air gets past the plate, it expands here, the air somewhat slows down, it can get into the inside rotor. So, pretty remarkable. They're working really great. That's the Stage 8. This one also has what we call a venom cooler. And what I do with the venom cooler is I'm running liquid off the intercooler system, and it's running through the front drive, past the bearing, and it's flooding the outside of the casting here. Works just like on the principle of an engine block. So when this is running, here, get a good look at it. I'll turn it on. This car actually has a remote switch for, I guess, cool downs. Bam, you see the water, bam, comes right through here, circulates through. He drove it over this morning, raised the hood, blower same temperature front to back, lukewarm, that's it. No warpage, rotor to case rub, you're good to go. No worry about cool downs between rounds and stuff like that. Now on the overdrive, this car just has a stock lower pulley, but a pretty large upper pulley, 3/100 upper pulley. We still are generating 19 pounds of boost, but with the overdrive and this pulley, that's where we got the boost out of that. Another thing we do, a new thing we do is called the constrictor grip machining process. I reconfigure the ribs on the pulley to lock the belt down in there, eliminate belt slip. So that's a pretty big deal. That's somewhat inexpensive too. I'll show you the new version of the snakebite. Like I say, this is the last gear set, and it turned out super neat. Now when people order the snakebite today, what they get is, yeah, they get the venom cooler, but they also get a 2/4 pulley, which at that point we're still getting boost up there to 17 pounds, and given the constrictor grip, it's not slipping. It's less expensive, and that's also a neat deal here. But this particular car has 1 5/8" headers on it. It's got a X-mid pipe, and it's got Stinger mufflers out the back, so it's quite loud. Also, you'll notice I added these crankcase vent breathers on each side, which we got to vent the crankcase. We're going to suck a lot of oil in there. The motor's going to detonate. It isn't going to last long. That clears that up. But you know, on this side, there's a T behind the blower. I actually delete them pipes because otherwise they're circulating boost. Ain't really going anywhere. So we cap that off, and we're just getting solid boost that way. Now, lately, one of the problems we have with any of these high-performance cars that's really pushing the envelope on horsepower per cubic inch is the gasoline just doesn't cut it. When you're buying 93, you're getting 89. And there's different ways to go about it. You can do a method injection with methanol. You could do a octane boost additive, Torco, Royal Purple, some premium brand there, or Kyle opted to run a 20% E85 blend. So basically, he's going to go put gas in his car. Let's say he puts 5 gallons in, multiplies by 0.2, bam, he's going to put that E85 in there. Right now, so this thing is like 94 octane, actual octane. And it's running 23 degrees of timing. The air was cool last night. Yeah, it was probably 35 degrees, 40 degrees. The air was cool, so it was optimum conditions when we ran these numbers. But here's the last dyno sheet. I know it seems somewhat incredible, but we made a lot of advancements, and this Stage 8 has really proven itself. Now, getting back to this, if anybody does get like, I really like this BBK throttle body. The problem is, it seems like some of these new batches, the return springs here are somewhat weak, so I give it a little extra round, and I clip it up here, and also always add an optional safety spring. The Stage 8, though, being this is shifted, we have to extend this with this extension that comes with it. This car does run an NGK number 8 plug, gapped at 32. Actually, as you see on the dyno, on the get-go around 3,000, it did blow the spark out. So we're going to have to get it down to 30, maybe 28. 30 might be the number. We do like to use a Metco style cold air intake, and oil, you know, on the oil you should thicken it up, run some 540, 1040 with a high performance oil filter. And other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we missed. We do like to delete the thermostat or put a 170 in and turn them fan switches down. And you'll have to have a hell of a clutch to hold it. Always make sure there's a little free play in there. And anybody want more information, you can call me at 636-949-2275. And we're very thrilled for Kyle Isom to bring this car up here. And give me a call if you have any more questions. Thanks a lot. One more aspect about this Cobra I'd like to talk about, and that's the fuel system. When you're making 575, 600 rear wheel horsepower, naturally you needed upgraded fuel injectors and math. What we do here at Stiegemeier Porting Service is I do my even flow injectors. What I do is I take the factory injectors, I can enlarge them. These are 60 pounds. I took the stock injectors, I enlarged them to 60 pounds. Now we ain't got to remap the tune for that, because the injector is the same ohm that was designed and tuned for in the car's computer. What happens when I enlarge these injectors, it only adds 1% of fuel for every pound I add it wide open. It don't change the idler park throttle. That's controlled through the O2 sensors. So now the injector, now we go to the math. What we've been doing is I modify these maths, and I can extend the range by a half a volt. What happens when I do that, it will lean it out by 18%. So by leaning out, slowing the air down, leaning it out 18%, gaining a half a volt on this stock math, which is $50, it's a bargain. The injector, when I go from 40, they're 39s, let's say 40 to 60 pounds, I'm increasing it by 20. So let's say I got 18 pounds bigger injector, which is 18% rich, and then I do the math, 18% lean, it's a wash. And you might find it hard to believe, but when we put this together, I data logged the fuel trims, and they were spot on. It was just hovering around 1 or 2% zero, back and forth on the short and long fuel trims on the car. So it was exciting to see that. We ran the car. I've never ever touched the fuel adjustment, the mass transfer function, on this car. And when you look at the dyno sheet over here, you can see I'm hitting like 11.8 to 12. You can also see at about 62 or 300, I'm pretty much maturated on my math. But she'll go to 65. We're peaking at 6,300. And hell, they blow up at 7,200 anyway. We got it redline limited at 65. So, pretty remarkable. So the fuel system we do, I mean, these injectors are 185, the math's $50. Bam! I'm sending these things out. You can install these parts and go. Drive around the world if you want to your tuner. You don't have to remax, spend a bunch of money. You know, give us a call. I can explain it to you further. It's hard to believe, but it's very amazing with the fuel system. The snake bite's incredible. One of the last gear drives. We still have gear drives for TVS blowers. Call me on those for GT500s. They're very popular. You know, if we got enough of a call or we got enough people lined up, we will make some more gear sets. But we do make the snake bite system now as a liquid cooled Venom cooler with the 2.4 pulley at 17 pounds of boost. And them guys are popping 525 and 550s in the heat. You know, no problem. And I'm not tuning those cars. So that's pretty much it. That's everything I wanted to cover. Also, a lot of guys are sending in their lower intakes. We can do them lower intakes for a couple $100. Fix up a few more ponies. Hell, you're already down there. Pretty easy to get that off. When we do send these new ones out, we're sending a lot of gaskets. Always watch your O-rings on that manifold on that lower intake. These older cars, them O-rings are leaking, and you can just start leaking inside the motor. Watch that. And the biggest thing you better pay attention to is this intercooler pump. Mercedes makes one. I don't have the number on the top of my head, but for $50 more or $30 more, it'll pump 50% more volume, 30 to 50% more volume. It's about $130. Check it out. It's Mercedes part number. Call me up. I can give that to you. We got one in the door the other day. That was nice. So, hey, I'm glad to talk about this car today. Sorry you guys haven't seen any new movies. We've been pretty swamped, but give me a call on any of your needs. I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. Thanks again. Later.